So I had an interesting police interaction yesterday, specifically the Arkansas State Troopers. Let me give you a little setup. I don't have the first part of this interaction recorded, but I did put the camera on as soon as it got a little weird. After it got a little weird, let me explain. Me and two of my friends were on motorcycles together. So we're three deep on motorcycles. We're coming home from a camping trip. We've been in the mountains for a few days. It's about a 3-hour motorcycle ride. We're around 2 hours in. So about an hour from home. We're kind of pushing because it's getting late. But at some point, the bugs had gotten so thick on my visor that it became a safety hazard. My vision was impaired. When we intersected one highway to the next, I thought it would be a good place to pull over because traffic is not going to be going by real fast. Everybody would have just had to make a turn before they could get to where we were at. It's a safe place. I've stopped there several times in the past. It's one of my usual routes, north of Texarkana, right near the Texas state line. So we're stopped there for about 5 minutes, and I look and I'm out of water. And I asked my other two friends, hey, you got any water? Nobody's got any water, so I've got nothing to wipe these bugs off with. At the same time, we got the truck following up the rear with my son driving, pulling the trailer. And it's like, well, he's got water in the truck. We'll just wait here. He should be here in a few minutes. We weren't that far ahead of him. So as we're sitting there for approximately 5 minutes, we're not driving. We're not doing traffic crimes at this point. This is where the Arkansas State Police come up. They come from the south. They turn and immediately turn on their lights. I say they because there are two of them in the car, big black trooper and then a smaller statured white trooper. I immediately put my hands up as a joke and kind of smile at them like, oh, you busted us, standing on the side of the road. What fun. And so I walk up to the car. At the same time, I'm pulling my earplugs out. And about the time I get to his window and I get my earplugs removed, he says, you don't come up to us. We come up to you. I don't know who said it at this point because they're all tinted out and kind of cracked their door to say it, and obviously they may have been giving me commands before that, but I don't know that I was needing to be the recipient of commands at that point because we're not involved in a traffic stop. We're just on the side of the road and they approached us as far as I can tell. And let me be straight about this. This was not like, I didn't feel like doing like an audit at that point and sort of flexing my rights. They both get out for a moment and then the larger black trooper seems to be the one in charge. And my feeling is that he's training the younger trooper. That's usually why they're two up, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard that before. Don't quote me on that. And anybody that knows anything about this, feel free to answer in the comments. What you think about it and what sort of things. But let me finish the interaction. And this was only about 12 hours ago. So I'm going to go kind of word for word like what was said. So they said, you don't approach us, we approach you, in sort of an aggressive tone. And I think I looked back at my friends and said, oh boy, they don't want to be approached, or something like this, some sideways remark. If you're getting sideways with me, I'm gonna get sideways with you. That's just the way I am personally. I walk back over towards the motorcycles and he gets out at this point. He says, let me see some IDs. You have your license? I forget the exact question, but like, let me get some ID was the gist of it. And so I immediately questioned him. I was like, what do you need our IDs for? This isn't a traffic stop. And he says, oh, this is a motorist assist. That's the word that he used. He said, it's a motorist assist and we require that you give us your IDs for that. And the two friends that I was with were only 18 years old and they probably just, don't know. They're immediately whipping out their licenses. And at this point, I'm at a decision point. Like, I don't have to ID myself because I have broken no laws. I'm just standing on the side of a road in a safe spot for safety, wiping my visor. And I told him, I said, well, I'll give you my ID, but if this is a motorist assist, why don't you assist me and give me some water? Because I'm holding a dry napkin in my hand. And my camera is on my helmet, which is covered in bugs laying on the road by the motorcycle. And I'm thinking, I probably need to get my camera on for this, but I don't want to run for the bike as soon as he's got there. And anyway, that's what happened there. I'm making this decision like, look, I know none of us have warrants. We're not illegal, but it's more of a rights thing, right? Like, it's my right to remain anonymous should I choose. And I was ready to get home. I didn't want to flex the point, so to speak. And I could have made this an entire different kind of video as far as exercising my rights and just see the response that I get from the troopers. That can lead to a lot of hassle, and I'm aware of that. Because I was with the group and I didn't want to cause a lot of hassle, I'm just going to go along with it, right? So I hand over my ID. I knew it was not going to be a problem because I've got no priors or warrants. But I said, he's just wanting to check us for warrants to make sure we're not outlaws. I said, I know I'm not. I can't speak for these two. And, kind of made light of the situation. He says, oh no, we're not running warrants. We're we're just taking down information for a motorist assist. And I'm like, that's bull, y'all. He's lying. He's running warrants for sure. They're going to run for warrants. And he kept saying that they weren't, which I know is just malarkey. It's just straight malarkey. It's got to be malarkey. Ain't no way they would take our licenses and go to that car and start typing furiously into their computer to see what comes back on it. Well, at that point, I'm like, I need to go get my camera and turn it on. And that's kind of where this interaction starts. That's where we're at this point when I click go on the camera. And I'm going to let you watch it from here. Tell me what you think about that. And we're going to post this video up and let the public tell me, you know, what I think the interaction went like 50-50. I think it went, I don't, you know, back to my point. It was easier just to give him the license instead of hold my anonymity like I really kind of wanted to do. I've always wanted to get in sort of a situation where some officer tries to overstep my rights and I call him on it and say, no, sir, not going to do that. And in a sense, I did. I told him, you know, I'm ready to go. You're holding me up. Go get my licenses. You'll see what's happening. Let's watch the video. That was fun. I gotta stretch my legs and clean my visor off, guys. Borrow your trunk for a second. Uh-oh. Do we have any water? Oh, shit. I think I got some in my backpack. Let me see. I forgot I had my backpack on for a moment. God, I'm having fun riding this little motorcycle. Damn, it's a fun motorcycle. Take this thing off for a second. We'll see if Ian catches up before we're done with our chores. Good now. And I should mention that at this point, my son did get there. He did pass me some water. I did wipe my visor off. That's what I was doing while they were running these IDs. And now I'm good to go. Oh, I can't hear. I'm sorry, I got earplugs in.
That's what I was telling him. I knew he had the plugs in. Yours is black. 300 as well. What year model? We're typing them up.
Why?
We're giving you the form.
Just write down the plates, man. We good.
No, it won't populate.
You gonna take pictures of them or something?
No, why would I take pictures of your plate?
What do you need to know the year model for? It's all on the registration, huh?
It's not populating.
What does that mean? It
doesn't populate in our system. Remember I told you, you said you kept saying we're checking warrants. I said, no, all we're doing is get your 28, your registration.
Yeah, no, but now we're ready to go, man.
Yeah, but once we get this...
I need my license back.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay, cool. I'm ready. We gotta make it home before the deer come out. I done been hit by one. Yeah. I don't know, man. He's asking for your models and stuff. I don't get it.
I didn't do that.
I don't know.
Whatever.
There's somebody calling me. No, that's good. Gracias, amigo.
I was telling you, like, the registration, man, you ought to stay, all that stuff doesn't populate.
Man, y'all be safe out there. Some hooligans on the road.
Yeah, we heard about them already.
Actually, you know what? This whole time we run into nothing. But if you get anywhere near Houston or Dallas, man, it is a shit show on the road.
Extra traffic or what is it?
Yeah, just dumbasses on the road, like raising hell.
When y'all go to Dallas, do y'all go to downtown?
I try to avoid. I go around it as much as I can, man. It's so bad. But Houston, inside the inner belt of Houston.
You would say Houston, Dallas, or LA. Have you been to LA on the bike?
Not on the bike, no. No, I've been to San Diego with friends, like hitchhiking around, but it's thick with people.
Wait till you get on.
Is that where you're from?
I've lived out there. Well, I graduated high school in SoCal.
Oh, nice. Man, beautiful out there. Beautiful out there.
You think Dallas and Houston's rough?
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Like, so say you miss your exit, right? And you know the next exit is 5 miles, it could take you 45 minutes to an hour because of traffic.
Unless you're one of those.
Yeah. Trust me, you think they're idiots? Them fools out there will get mad when you're trying to get around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people. People, that's the problem. Y'all be safe, guys. Thank you much. I think it was the younger, smaller white fella that stayed in the driver's seat who told me, you know, with the aggressive tone, you know, get back, you don't approach us, we approach you. That set the tone all wrong. But then this black state trooper, keep calling him the big black state trooper, sorry. I look back, his name was Officer Broughton, Trooper Broughton. Trooper Broughton was a really nice guy. Like he never got an aggressive attitude. He never tried to flex his authority. I just thought it was a little sideways, him saying that, oh, we're not gonna run warrants. We're not running warrants. That I knew that to be a lie. They would definitely run warrants on any ID they get. I've seen it so many times. That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do, it seems, is initially check the IDs for warrants so that they can make an arrest if they need to do that. And that's what cops do. That's cops being cops. I can't fault him for that, but he was nice about it. And then after I realized, you know, I told him, like, you know, give me an ID, it's time to go. He was very quick about that. It only took, I think, like maybe 1 minute from the time I was like, it's time to go, let's go, bud, that he went and got my IDs, or our IDs, my ID, and brought everybody's back. And again, he was a nice guy. He was just doing his job. I get that, but I'm just curious about, you know, your thoughts on, like, was that like a legal ID opportunity? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just kind of a North Louisiana backwoods guy who likes to burn gasoline. I know probably just enough about the law to get me in trouble. Y'all tell me what you think. That was my police interaction yesterday. I don't have many of them. So had I been by myself, had I been not with anybody and had all the time in the world to mess around, I might would have pushed the issue, you know, right there on the side of the road and said, you know, this isn't a traffic stop. I'm not violating any crimes. You don't get my ID. And at some point, I feel like that's probably going to happen somewhere. I don't know. I see these types of videos on the internet where everybody records their police interactions nowadays. And I wish I would have kept the camera up immediately, but I've been wearing the camera all day at that point. Like that really, you know, when they pulled up, I didn't want to turn and brake for, you know, like I'm going to get something and have them draw down on me. You know, you want to be delicate in police situations always. You know, show respect where respect is deserved. If they're not being respectful, there's no need for you to be either. You have rights. You know, you have the right to remain silent and the right illegal searches and seizures, which I feel like this may fall if I'm understanding it right. But y'all give me the feedback. If there's any lawyers out there in the situation, you know, let me know. Let me know what we're dealing with here as far as the way the story goes. But you got to see a piece of it, and that's what this video was about mainly. Arkansas State Police tried to bust Kylo for something. The point where it really shifted for me was where he come back asking, you know, what year models are these bikes? I'm like, that's not even important. That's not why we're here. You know, you're not running our stuff. If you want to run the plates, but we're not answering any questions about stuff. You know, they seemed like they were kind of fishing then, even if he was being nice about it. But after the fishing expedition ended, here we are. We made it home safe. That's all that really matters when we get right down to it. Nobody hit a deer. It was dark when we got here. They did hold us up long enough that we missed the sunset, if you know what I mean. So that was my comment about, you know, the deer come out, already been hit by one. That's a story for another time. I hope y'all liked the video. I'll catch y'all real soon in the next one. Much love, y'all. Kyle out.